Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, and this is your daily news. So people are quitting Binance and Elon Musk is suing everyone. So let's jump in the headlines. You got to hear this stuff for yourself. So Binance unravels as executives flee and layoffs proliferate. And you're wondering like, hey, so what's going on? Where are they going? Where'd the money go? As it turns out, there is a gravity hole at the bottom of the ocean. So I don't know if that's where your crypto money is. I actually thought this was a joke. I had to look it up, but it is a real thing. This is headline news. There's a gravity hole in the Indian Ocean. So for those of you who are science buffs, you can please write in the comments what you think about this thing. But I guess there's a part of the world where gravity is a little bit lower. And who knows? Maybe that's where all the crypto is going. The joke. Not the gravity hole. It's a real thing, but crypto is going there. It's a joke. But who knows? And with the crypto world, the crypto bros, you never know where they're dumping this stuff. But evidently, what's going on though with Binance is people are nervous. Essentially, the Justice Department, they could file criminal charges, and essentially they're saying, hey, you didn't do enough to prevent money laundering. And this is something that's been a big problem with crypto for a long time. There's just a lot of nefarious money in crypto, and the staff isn't really confident that Changpeng Zhao is doing, the right thing to try to stay afloat and keep people out of prison, essentially. So people are jumping ship. It's multiple people that are quitting. So it's the general counsel, so that'd be their lawyer, the chief strategy officer, and then also you have the head of investigations and a senior vice president for compliance. So those are some of the big ones. And then Zhao Changpeng, he tweeted out, as markets and global environment for crypto changes, as our organization evolves, and as personal situations change, there is turnover at every company. So he's trying to say that this is normal. People just leave jobs sometimes. When you ask the actual people, so this was, so Hong Na as general counsel, so they left. I guess there were some disagreements as what they said here. Matthew Price, so that's the head of global investigation intelligence. So this person actually used to work at cyber crimes for the IRS. So they would know, this person would know a lot of people around the world. And it just says he just went to another firm. Another person, the chief strategy officer, it just says there's just working too hard, basically nonstop for 2 years. And then Stephen Christie's saying he wants to spend more time with his family. So, take that stuff with a grain of salt when people say why they're leaving, because the truth is they're leaving, and, these kind of people have to be very tight-lipped about what's going on, because if there are criminal charges looming, what did you know? When did you know it? You want to be making deals with the government. So, we got to be protecting yourself in these kind of situations. And it's interesting, too. It says, I guess Zhao is in Dubai, and I guess he just mostly hangs out, in his house. And then the reports from the company were saying that people who are employees there are all feeling kind of sad, which I totally get it, right? If you're worried and nervous that you've lost people's money and that you are involved with something that is a sinking ship, it's time to get out. So this, I think that the big ones, though, is like when you're head of, basically your compliance and your lawyers are jumping, it's not looking so good. This is the other thing that was interesting is I guess Binance is under investigation in multiple countries. So you got the U.S., Canada, France, Australia, and Belgium, and this is just in 2023. There may be more countries involved in 2022. I know that they have different different success in various countries. Binance does, and we'll see how this plays out. I personally wouldn't keep any money on this stuff. When you read these kind of headlines, after seeing what happened with other exchanges, it doesn't look good. Now, to be fair, though, Bitcoin is not yet crashing. It's still sitting at 30,000. It's up 40% in the last year. I can see it right here. Although the markets were down today, Bitcoin isn't crashing quite yet. If you take a look at the industries or different sectors, I should say, it was mixed. It was interesting because yesterday everything was red. Led by energy to the downside. Today, energy is on the upside. So we'll see if that goes. But overall, markets were down today. And regarding people who are down, Elon Musk is suing his lawyers. So basically, he's saying, you overcharged me when you made me buy Twitter. First, you make me buy Twitter, and now you overcharge me in fees. And it's actually quite a bit of money. He wants to get $90 million back, I guess. And it's pretty funny because this is the quote from the lawsuit here. fully aware that nobody with an economic interest in Twitter's financial well-being was minding the store, Watchell arranged to effectively line its pockets with funds from the company cash register while the keys were being handed over to the Musk party. So I thought that was pretty funny. No one was minding the store, and you're lying in your pocket. So it is what it is. And CNBC was actually trolling Musk. If you read the one of the subtitles, it says Musk has a long history of not paying vendors. So this idea that he's being overcharged by his lawyers, and then he doesn't pay people. And this is something that we've talked about several times on this channel. To where, to be really frank, I think when you go through all these things, either Binance or Elon Musk stuff, these billionaires have the same problems as you and I, just with more zeros. So, for example, let's say my friend screws me, just for example, and they promised to give me money for those baseball tickets. They never did. That's like $100, whatever. But when you get to the billions, you're like, hey, you overcharged me 90 million. So, like I said, it's the same kind of problems that you and I have, just a lot more zeros involved, and also too, you have bodyguards involved. Whenever you see pictures of Musk, if you're wondering, he has a couple scary looking bodyguards that they would not mess with. If I was Musk, I would bring the bodyguards to the Zuckerberg fight if they end up fighting in the cage match. The other thing that's really interesting, I guess Twitter's desktop app was on down detector. It had spiked. I guess it was going down. One of the things that was really interesting is Zuckerberg was tweeting, or I should say threading out, not tweeting out, threading out that 70 million signups already on their platform over at Threads. So I signed up over there. Am I going to use it all day, every day? Probably not. I'm not into this stuff, but I do find this stuff, entertaining. And the other thing is, which is interesting, evidently all they need is to have 1 in 4 Instagram users sign up. So only, a quarter of the Instagram users need to sign up for Threads, and then essentially it'll have the same amount of people as Twitter. So this is a legitimate threat to Twitter. The other thing is too, which is fascinating about this whole, fiasco, is that you have a lot of, Elon Musk fanboys and fangirls, and just think Elon Musk is a genius. He can do no wrong. But I mean, yeah, this is a good case of this. Are you living in reality or not? Right. The reality is you paid $44 billion for Twitter, which is like, why? Like, why would you do that? My personal opinion, if you got that much money and you're Elon Musk, just build rockets and go to Mars. Like, do something cool. Buying Twitter, not that cool. That's my opinion on that thing. And as he's learning, maybe not so cool. He's suing his lawyers, and we talked about yesterday, he's suing Zuckerberg for, you stole my employees and you stole my ideas, kind of stuff. But again, rich people have the same problems as you and I, just more zeros. So, moreover, the Winklevoss twins, they're suing, a crypto investor, DCG. And I think what it was is, this thing that they deal with, they like lend out money and you lend out crypto. And now there's they're saying Genesis owes $3 billion, Genesis owes creditors $3 billion. And then the Winklevoss twins, they were claiming all this stuff is about fraud. It says here, at the heart of Gemini's allegations against DCG, Silber is a $1.2 billion promissory note. This lawsuit is about fraud. So if I understand this correctly, Gemini owes people money, and then Genesis owes people money, and then you're worried about another group is like lending out crypto and money to people. Whatever. It's just a big mess, and just don't get involved with this stuff is my recommendation on this thing. And moreover, again, as a kind of the theme of today is, rich people have the same problem as you and I, or I say the billionaires, I should say. Just more zeros. This is actually kind of interesting. There's a hotel REIT that said they will likely return 19 properties to lenders. I think we may see more announcements like this. So this is the Ashford Trust. So I don't know if anyone in the channel has money in this particular REIT, but basically they just can't afford to have all of their properties, and they needed to come up with like $255 million to stay afloat essentially. And then just like, well, we can't have all this stuff on the books, so we'll just give you back the properties. So I don't really, know how this is going to play out in several cities, because, my understanding is that tourism is up in many places. People are willing to pay high fares, etc. So I think this is more of just mismanagement of money. And, as interest rates go up, it changes the calculation of everything. And also, too, what a lot of people did, because they were talking about, I was reading through this, different markets fare better. So for example, you buy a bunch of hotels in Vegas, and people are going there, and you're like, oh my God, it's so easy to make money in Vegas with hotels. Therefore, I'm going to go, build a bunch of hotels in, say, Nashville, and you just think it's going to be that easy. So when the money is easy, you're like overly optimistic on stuff, and then when it turns out that, wow, not everyone is going to go to Nashville like they do Vegas to, go gamble and stuff like that, and therefore now I got these hotels that I don't want anymore. I'm just saying, for example. So you're going to see this kind of stuff, and when in doubt, if you can't pay for it, just give it back. And that's kind of the name of the game. And I wonder, for example, if Elon Musk can't pay for Twitter, can he just give it back? We'll find out. So anyway, I hope your day is going well and your weekends are going great. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any one of these topics. And this has been your Daily News.